Everyone, and welcome back as I continue my selective review of Blake 7. We are now with Season 4, Rescue, and I'm only going to be reviewing 4 episodes of this season, and I'll give my reasons later on in this video. So, Avon and Co. are stranded on the planet Terminal, and Sutherland, being Sutherland, yes, she'd left little surprises for them. Avon and Dana scout out this derelict ship that Sutherland turned up in, and of course it goes up in smoke when Lynx gets on board. This causes other explosions back on the base. Villa rescues Tarrant. After rescuing her, he tries to rescue Callie, but it's too late. Callie is caught in the explosions, and so Callie is no longer. Meanwhile, out in space, a mysterious salvage operator, you could say, is heading their way with due cause and reason, only known to him, of course. Back on Terminal, they're sort of scouting around. Tarrant falls behind. Dana and Villa fall into a pit, hanging onto vines with a very nasty life form. Looks like it's going to have them for lunch. And then suddenly they are rescued. They are rescued by the mysterious man. He has landed his ship on Terminal. His name is Dorian. Now, while this is going on, him rescuing Villa and Dana, Avon's having a quiet word with Tarrant, saying, "Don't fall behind, Tarrant, or I'll just leave you." So that's sort of nice little conversation from Avon. Yes, so Dorian has rescued Dana and Villa, and he's taken by surprise when Avon is standing behind him holding a Federation gun, and I will say that with confidence because it's going to play a part in this episode. So, at gunpoint, Dorian takes the survivors to his ship, and they start experiencing very violent earthquakes and eruptions. It seems that Terminal is going up. It's going to explode. That's what it seems like. Meanwhile, Villa makes an interesting discovery on Dorian's ship. It looks like Dorian has a teleport. And not only that, he has a very sophisticated computer called Slave. These modifications seem very advanced, unusually very advanced. Anyway, as the planet erupts violently, Dorian knocks himself unconscious. Avon basically asks Tarrant, "Can you get this ship up?" Tarrant says yes, he can. And that's exactly what happens, is the countdown, and of course the ship lifts off. Up in space, they continue looking around. Dana makes an interesting discovery about the weapons that Dorian has, particularly his guns, that can hold all kinds of different magazines. Very advanced, again. Even Tarrant is questioning, hang on, this doesn't make sense. A teleport system, advanced computer, advanced weaponry. This is way beyond the realms of someone who's just a scavenger, and Tarrant may have a point there. And so, on Auto Beacon, you could say, the ship is heading back to home base and heading into something very nasty. Meanwhile, back at home base, Dorian's associate, Sulin, contacts Dorian. Avon, of course, holding a gun to Dorian's head. Dorian has no choice but to cooperate. And the ship is guided in by computer control. And the ship lands in a silo and is taken down below to Dorian's base. As they disembark, Villa picks up the Federation gun. Why he does it, we don't actually know, but he does. And it's a very smart move by Villa. Very smart. So, Avon and co are introduced to Dorian's associate, Sulene, who is the fastest gun he's ever known on the draw, because she took out her master. And as they are sort of looking around Dorian's place, there's a lot of unanswered questions about Dorian. There are things that don't add up at all. And these questions will come to a head when Dorian reveals his true motives. Dorian has given his excuses because he says he needs to refresh himself, and he certainly does. He goes down a staircase and he's starting to look older. Something mysterious is going on in a mysterious cave below. Later on, Dorian is back, looking rejuvenated, and he has fixed Aurak. Avon, of course, starts asking Dorian questions, and the answers are very, very strange. Meanwhile, Dana has discovered Dorian's secret cave and is locked in, but fortunately, she does call out for Tarrant, so he's on his way back down. And Dorian now takes Avon prisoner. Overhearing Dorian's conversation with Avon is Villa, and everyone's magazines and their guns have been taken out by Sulene, so they're all useless, the guns now. And so a very smug Dorian reveals some aspects about him. He has lived a very, very long time. He tells Avon he discovered this mysterious cave, and it cleanses him of all the corruption and rejuvenates him. Avon, of course, doesn't believe this. Avon just thinks Dorian is a complete crackpot. But Dorian goes on and says, I set out to pick you up. I set out to rescue you. And he takes Sulene as prisoner as well. She is tricked. So Dorian escorts Avon down below with Sulene. Villa comes down the staircase. He comes across the Federation gun. Realising this is the only gun that's going to fire, he then follows them down to the cave. Meanwhile, in the cave, Dorian is having a good laugh. He's saying the cave's going to accept you and so on and so on. But he's forgotten something. Villa hands the Federation gun over to Avon while Dorian's too busy laughing. Avon shoots the mysterious creature, killing the creature. And the result of killing the creature, he has killed Dorian. Dorian starts to age dramatically. And then he just passes away into dust. So that Federation gun came in very handy indeed to get out of this scrape. And without further ado, let's move on to my final thoughts on this particular one. Right, my final thoughts. Well, it looks like Villa saved the day. It's Villa who is put in charge of the Federation gun from Avon to guard Dorian, even though he does mislead it in Dorian's base, but stumbles across it, very fortunately. So yeah, they're all going to end in a very grisly death if it wasn't for that little fact of the Federation gun being the only one that they could use. I get the feeling this is like a soft reboot because they've now got their hands on a ship, a base, a hidden base, a good sidearm that can take all kinds of different magazines, a ship that has a computer on board called Slave, and the teleport. Yeah, I get the strong impression this was a soft reboot of some kind. I may be wrong. I don't know, but that's the impression I got. Overall, it's a good episode, even though it doesn't really make any sense how Dorian locates Avon and co. I got no idea how he does that. And it does come across like this is the Blake 7 Halloween episode, you could say. Yeah, but overall, it's a good episode. And of course, this is the episode, though Jan Chappell as Callie, we don't see her on screen, but we hear her voice. This is the one she's not in. In fact, she has completely bailed out now. Her character is gone. And of course, she's now replaced by Glynis Barbara, who plays Sue Lin. Yeah, so overall, it's a good opening episode. So, yeah. So, right, now, why am I only reviewing 4 episodes of Season 4? Well, quite frankly, it was a bit of a poor season, and I'm only going to review the better ones that I like. And on that note, have a great day. Goodbye.